Who is a narcissist, really? Usually when people say narcissist, they imagine a self-obsessed person with an inflated sense of self-worth, a person who takes a lot of selfies, loves attention, demands praise. That is a superficial view, and it is dangerous. Because a real narcissist is not just an egoist. They are a predator with their own strategy. You need to understand, narcissistic personality is not about self-love. It's about survival at the expense of others. It's a broken psyche that builds itself out of other people's resources, attention, emotions, pain. A narcissist is a person with deep inner emptiness. They do not feel their own self. Their self-esteem is unstable. It depends on external validation. They can appear charismatic, confident, even caring. But all of that is a mask. And the more beautiful the mask, the more dangerous the essence. A narcissist is incapable of empathy. They do not feel your emotions. They can read them, to use them. But they don't hurt when you hurt. It's convenient for them. The main trait of a narcissist is a pathological need for narcissistic supply, admiration, submission, attention. All their behavior is directed toward one goal, to force you to feed their ego. I will tell you how they do it. Through charm and idealization, through control and devaluation, through gaslighting and the destruction of your self-esteem. They can be anyone. A man or a woman, a romantic partner or a boss, a parent, a friend, a wise mentor. A narcissist knows how to mimic. They sense who is in front of them. They subtly adjust their behavior to your weaknesses. If you are looking for love, they will give you perfect love. If you are looking for recognition, they will admire you. But none of it is sincere. It is bait. They don't just play with emotions, they feed on them. It's important for you, don't confuse a narcissist with a regular egoist. An egoist wants for themselves. A narcissist wants through you. They are not satisfied until you are suffering, dependent, and doubting. Because your insecurity makes them stronger, your pain is their fuel. They cannot tolerate criticism. Even a slight remark can trigger rage or cold silence. They take revenge, not openly but psychologically, through silence, ignoring, devaluation. And one more thing. A true narcissist does not change, because they don't believe anything is wrong with them. The problem is always with others. They may apologize, but not because they understand. Only because it's necessary to maintain control. Let's summarize. Who is a narcissist? First, a narcissist is not about self-love, but a pathology of dependency on other people's attention. Second, they charm, study, and capture to control. Third, they masterfully wear masks, kind, vulnerable, even spiritual. Fourth, their goal is control. Their method is emotional destruction. And fifth, they don't feel guilt. They feel power. This is the foundation. Next, we'll break down exactly how the narcissist lures their victim, how the bond is created, and how you can take back control before you lose yourself. So, a narcissist never acts spontaneously. Everything they do is part of a program. They don't enter a relationship to build. They enter a relationship to conquer. Their goal is not love, it's control. And they act according to a pattern, regardless of gender, age, or social status. There are 3 clear stages through which a narcissist will build a relationship, and if you recognize them, you can exit the game before it's too late. Stage 1. Idealization. At this stage, the narcissist plays the perfect person. They mirror you, your interests, your values, your tastes. You get the feeling that you are soulmates. They say what you want to hear. They do what you've been missing from others. A typical phrase from a narcissist at this stage: "I've never felt this way with anyone before." They call you special, give you compliments, write constantly, surround you with attention. This is called love bombing. In reality, it's not care. It's a tool for rapid submission. They want you to believe in the fairy tale, to relax, to open up, because only then can they go deep and begin to control. Stage 2. Devaluation, a strike at your self-esteem. As soon as you're attached, the transformation begins. The narcissist changes the mask. You see coldness, disregard, criticism. Support disappears. They vanish, ignore you, mock you. Sometimes they provoke fights. This is not accidental. It's part of the strategy to destroy your confidence, because a weak victim is an obedient one. They might compare you to others, make comments about your appearance, intellect, achievements. Say things like, "You've changed. You're overcomplicating everything. You're too sensitive." This is a key moment. You start doubting yourself. You begin to think that you are the problem. You start trying harder, proving yourself, pleasing them. You get hooked into dependency. Stage 3. Gaslighting and capture. Now you're in a defensive position. You're trying to bring back what you had at the beginning. But that will never come back, because it was fake. Now the narcissist is in full power, and they will use gaslighting. Gaslighting is when they make you believe your feelings and perceptions are false, that it's all in your head. They say, "I never said that. You're twisting everything. You're the one who ruined it all." Then they isolate you, emotionally, and sometimes physically, from your friends, from your family, from any support. Because when you're alone, you're vulnerable, and when you're vulnerable, you're controllable. These are psychological traps the narcissist uses especially effectively. They alternate between coldness and warmth. They can be cruel, and then suddenly affectionate. They might disappear for a week, and then show up with flowers and apologies. This creates addiction. Like a gambler, you never know when you'll win their love again, so you endure, you hope, and you stay. Now let's look at the behavioral patterns of a narcissist. How to recognize them, even if they hide everything masterfully. A narcissist isn't necessarily a loud, charismatic leader. They could be a quiet, polite person who still destroys you from the inside. The key is to understand. Narcissists have repetitive behavioral patterns. These aren't coincidences. They are mechanisms. Roughly speaking, all patterns can be divided into 3 groups: manipulative communication, control over the victim's emotions, avoidance of responsibility. Let's now go into detail about each of these mechanisms. Manipulative communication. We already discussed gaslighting, but it's worth repeating. It's a distortion of your reality. Examples: "You made that up." "I was joking, you just don't get humor." "You take everything too personally." The goal is to make you doubt yourself. The less you trust yourself, the more powerful they become. Projection is used constantly. They accuse you of what they do themselves. They flirt with others and accuse you of jealousy. They lie and say you're manipulative. They ignore calls and call you controlling. The purpose of projection is to shift the focus from themselves to you, to make you feel guilty instead. Pacing in conversation. The narcissist often deliberately pauses, speaks in riddles, drops half sentences. They create the impression that you're not getting something, as if they are the keeper of some secret knowledge. Sarcasm and jokes. sound like humor, but strike at your self-esteem. In a bad mood again, as usual. You're always so sensitive. Who else would want someone like you with that personality? That's not humor. It's an attack disguised as a joke. Control over the victim's emotions. The alternation of warmth and coldness is their main strategy. It's like emotional swings. Today, you are the center of their world. Tomorrow, they ignore you. This creates a dopamine rush and builds addiction. Your brain starts to expect reward and endures the punishment. Delayed response. You share something important, talk about a problem, and they reply, "Not now." This again? Or they ignore you completely. This isn't because they're busy. It's to show your emotions mean nothing. They are more important. Their time matters more. Their feelings are the priority. Emotional shutdown. At the moment when you are most vulnerable, they pretend not to notice, or they say, "Calm down. You're overreacting," or they simply leave. This leads to internal paralysis. You stop sharing, shut down, and the narcissist finds it even easier to control you. Avoidance of responsibility. A narcissist is never at fault, under any circumstances. They might cheat, but it's because you drove them to it. They might yell, but you provoked them. They might lie, but you're too suspicious. Blame shifting is classic. You say, "It hurts when you speak to me like that." They respond, "There you go again. It's impossible to have a normal conversation with you." They twist the facts. You bring up a complaint, and somehow you're the one apologizing. Avoiding direct answers. You, "Where were you yesterday?" Them, "Why do you think I owe you an explanation?" You, "Why were you texting your ex?" Them, "Do you even hear yourself? You're acting crazy." Your questions are ignored or turned into accusations against you. The victim mask. A narcissist always knows how to become the hurt one. They might cry. They might accuse you of being cold. They might say, "I just wanted love, and you destroyed me. You're so toxic. No one can be with you." All of this is bait for your guilt. So, how do you recognize a narcissist by these patterns? Here are 5 markers. First, you feel guilty even when you've done nothing wrong. Second, you've started to doubt your own intuition. Third, your boundaries are constantly being violated. Fourth, you're afraid to be yourself around them. Fifth, you constantly justify their behavior to others. Do you recognize at least 3 of these signs? Then congratulations. You're looking at a narcissistic structure. And the sooner you acknowledge that, the sooner you'll take back control of your life. Now let's talk about what to do if you're already trapped by a narcissist. Not just how to leave, but how to break free and never get caught again. So, what should you do if you're already in the narcissist's trap? How do you get out without breaking down? And never fall back in. If you're watching this video and you recognize your partner, your boss, your parent, or your friend, don't panic. The first thought might be, "I'm trapped." The second, "How did I even let this happen?" Stop. Don't blame yourself. You're not weak. You're not foolish. You simply became the target of someone who systematically and professionally dismantled your identity. The most important thing, there is a way out. But not through emotion, through a clear, focused plan. And now I will give you that plan. Step 1. Awareness. Call things by their name. You are not in a difficult relationship. You are not going through a rough patch. You are in a toxic dynamic with a narcissistic personality. That distinction is critical. As long as you keep calling poison medicine, you can't heal. Say it out loud. He or she is a narcissist. He doesn't love, he controls. That is the first step toward freedom. Your psyche will begin to shift. Step 2. Strategic distancing. A narcissist feeds off your reaction, not your love, not your warmth, your reaction. That's why your goal is to get out of their sphere of control. How to do it? Don't explain, don't justify, don't prove anything. Every argument you make becomes fuel for their manipulation. They don't listen to understand. They listen to use it against you. Minimize communication. Ideally, reduce it to 0. If you live together, start preparing to leave in secret, calmly, without drama. This is not emotion, this is an operation. If you have children, communicate only in written form. Clear, emotionless, no poetic speeches, only facts and actions. Remember, distance is not weakness, it is power. Step 3. Emotional detox. After leaving a narcissistic relationship, you feel empty. That's normal. You were trained to receive dopamine through stress, anxiety, and despair. It's a drug. And now, you're going through withdrawal. What to do? No, what if he's changed? That's an illusion. No, I'll just talk to him. You'll open the door, and it will all start again. No, maybe it was my fault. That's his voice, not yours. You must rewrite your internal dialogue. Every morning say to yourself, I got out. I don't owe anyone an explanation. I'm not going back. This is not a victim's mindset. This is a survivor's manual. Step 4. Rebuilding your self-esteem. What does a narcissist destroy? Your sense of self. They did everything to make you forget who you are. Now, your job is simple. Reclaim your identity. Write a list of 30 qualities you possess. It doesn't matter if you believe in them yet, just write, I am smart, I am loyal, I am strong, I am sensitive, and so on. Read that list every day. The mind accepts repetition as truth. In 3 weeks, you'll start believing it, automatically. Fill your life with things that restore your sense of control. Exercise, a new hobby, learning, creativity. Your goal is to feel again. You are the cause, not the effect. Step 5. Setting protective boundaries. Now you know what a narcissist looks like. And if you don't want to fall into that trap again, your boundaries must be firm, clear, and impenetrable. Use the 3-question technique. Are my feelings respected? Is my no accepted? Do I feel like myself around this person? If the answer to even one of these questions is no, you turn around, accept it, and walk away. No explanations, no chances, no what if. You are not a rescuer. You are a sovereign individual. Support and reinforcement. You can be strong, but no one should go through this alone. Support is important, especially after a narcissist. Create a circle of 2 to 3 people who are truly on your side. Go to therapy focused on restoring self-esteem. Join communities where people share their experiences of getting out of toxic relationships. This is not weakness. This is strategy. Your goal is not just to survive, but to become 10 times stronger. So you need to realize, you are not dealing with love, but with manipulation. Get out of the game, coldly, silently, without warnings. Clear your mind. Your emotions are not proof of truth. Build a new identity, based on freedom, not fear. Learn to see red flags, and respond without pity. Don't go back, never, even if it feels lonely. Let's talk about why the narcissist chose you, what exactly attracted them to you, and how to stop being a magnet for toxic people. I'll be honest, narcissists never choose just anyone. This is not random. It's calculated. You think, why did he choose me? I was kind. I did everything for him. I believed in him. Here's my answer. Exactly because of that. Narcissists don't seek the outwardly strong. They seek the inwardly convenient. I'll tell you the truth. You are an easy target. Let me describe your portrait through the eyes of a narcissist. You strive to be good. From childhood, you were programmed not to upset, not to argue, to be convenient. You try to please, to be accepted, which means you can be controlled through guilt. You have empathy. You feel others' pain. You care. You want to save people. The narcissist uses this. They show you their trauma, so you become their personal psychologist, their nurse, their cushion. You had gaps in your self-esteem. If you don't know your own worth, it's easy to impose it from the outside. At first, they put you on a pedestal. Then they throw you off, and you'll keep trying to prove that you're worthy. That's a drug to a narcissist. You avoid conflict, you endure. Stay silent, make excuses, which means you're not a threat. They can do anything with you and they know you won't explode, won't call them out, won't leave. Why you? Because you're giving, because you're patient, because you're polite. And now remember, the narcissist didn't choose you, they chose your vulnerability. And as long as it exists, you'll remain a magnet. Let me explain what makes you the ideal victim. Narcissists scan people for 3 things. Fear of loneliness. They sense it if you're afraid to be alone. That's the main hook. He'll say, "No one will understand you like I do." And you'll cling to that. Because you're afraid of emptiness. The habit of enduring. If you grew up in a family where love meant sacrifice, humiliation, or being ignored, then pain has become your norm. The narcissist instantly picks up on this and repeats the scenario, the desire to be validated. If there's a hole inside you, I'm not good enough, the narcissist fills it at first, then takes it away. Question: is it my fault? Elaine, it's your programming, but it can be rewritten. Otherwise, the next love will be the same. Only the mask will be different. What should you do to stop being a victim? Now, the practical part. How to burn out the vulnerability that attracts narcissists. Work on your self-worth. You have to become self-sufficient. Not lonely, but full of yourself. Every day, do something just for you. Self-care, your goals, your rhythm, your rules. You stop seeking validation from the outside, and you become unbreakable. Next, the internal no. You must stop apologizing for your boundaries. Don't want to means don't want to. Don't agree means don't agree. A real no doesn't need explanation. It's strength that repels a narcissist. He can't break what doesn't bend. Third, you rewrite your relationship model. If you're used to relationships being about struggle, sacrifice, or suffering, you'll keep attracting those who confirm it. Your task is to see that love doesn't have to hurt. That's not weakness. That's the new normal. Now remove the illusions. Stop thinking you can fix the narcissist. He isn't sick. He chooses to be this way. You're not his therapist. You're not his mom or dad. You're not a savior. Someone who wants to change goes to therapy. Someone who doesn't finds a new victim. Now you need to define your new standard. Write down on paper how people are allowed to speak to me, what is unacceptable to me, where I end the conversation without explanation. This is your personal manifesto. Don't stray from it, ever. Remember, you're not a random victim. The narcissist chooses those who are convenient, not weak. The program is inside you, but you can delete it. Stop explaining, justifying, rescuing. Become someone who can't be broken. Not because you're harsh, but because you are whole. The narcissist isn't your mistake, but it's your responsibility to exit the game. Don't become fuel. Don't become prey. You no longer have to earn love. You are already worthy. No conditions, no masks. If you were in a relationship with a narcissist, you were at war. And now it's time to take your power back. It won't be fast, but it's possible. Remember, the most dangerous enemy is the one you don't see. But now you see, and you know what to do. If you want more tools and insights to take control of your life, subscribe to the channel.